This is Maarte. Not quite a podcast, more like voice memos you weren't supposed to hear. Are you in there, little fetus? In 9 months, will you come greet us? I will buy you some Adidas. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The mic is definitely working. Um, I have made many a mistake of talking into the mic and just going on, only to realize that I was not actually recording anything. So this is my little test, 1, 2 tests. Is you working? Also, the song at the beginning, if you do not know the reference, I don't know what to tell you. But actually, I'm going to tell you anyways. It was from Friends. Yeah, it's a song from Friends that Phoebe sang. It was not a pregnancy announcement, so chill out, relax. Okay, thank you. Growing up, my mom was always a very hard person on the outside. Yeah, she did have her moments where she would soften, but growing up, I always remember her being very hard. And even so, she did like hit me with some bangers of like life lessons. For example, she used to always say, "You never know a person. You think you believe that you know them, but you don't." And she would always say, "You never know a person." And, for the longest time, I wrote it off. It wasn't until I started to have more friendships, more relationships, and just meeting new and different people. And I, I realized like she's right. Like you don't know a person. And sometimes people don't even know themselves. Like they believe what they tell themselves. They gaslight themselves into believing what they tell themselves. The more I pay attention, I realize that a lot of people do lie to themselves. I always joke and I say, "Oh, okay, the lies we tell ourselves," but there's truth in that. And it's just crazy to me because listen, I am a very empathetic person. I am a sponge. I pick up people's energy around me and it's so hard. That's something that I'm working out already. So whatever, we're going to glaze over that. But just to give you some context, I'm a sponge. I take everybody's energy around me and it's hard for me not to. And so whenever I meet people that are all about their peace and their zen and say, people that say they've done the work and they're protecting their peace, I used to feel very envious of that. Like that is so great. I love that for you. I really love that for you because I can't do that. I feel like again, this is something that I'm working through. So we'll come back to that sometime later. But yeah, I was always very, very, very envious of that. And like as I get to know some of these people more and more, I've realized that I don't I don't know, well, I've realized that they actually haven't done the work and all they've really done is control every single thing around them in order to hide in their peace. And now, whenever I hear someone that says they are protecting their peace, that's exactly what comes to mind. I'm like, oh, so you're saying that you've controlled everything in your life in order to remain in peace. Because I tell you what, the moment that something enters your life that has any type of impact on you, it fucking throws your world upside down. And I'm not just like speaking out of my ass. I know exactly what this is because I mean, I've been there before, plenty of time where I'm like, oh, shit, like life is good, things are going my way, and then one thing happens, and my fucking like I have to recalibrate everything in my life because it's turned upside down. I don't recognize it anymore, and that could be one little thing. And so, I realize more and more when people say that they've done the work, they've have found their zen, they're one with nature, they just have it all figured out. I've realized that they've just gotten really good at controlling everything around them. So from the outside, yeah, it does look like peace, but inside, internally, there's like a whole mess of stuff going on in there. And it's just, I don't know. And the shitty part about that is like these people that tell you that they've done the work on themselves, they've worked on themselves so much. These people, like, you want to believe that they are not the same people that would hurt you in a way that they've been hurt before. And what I mean by that is you expect these people to have a little bit more empathy, right? Because they've been through a lot of turmoil in their life and, you know, whatever they've been through has gotten them to the point where they just have to protect their peace and work on themselves. And you expect them to have that empathy towards other people around them. And it really does something to you when you realize that this person, although they have gone through pain and grieving and loss, although they've been through those things, yeah, you have empathy for them because you know how it feels. But it's, oh God, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Like, my words are not coming out right now, but it really does something to you when you understand a person like that, yet they are still a person that is able to hurt you in that same way. Does that make sense? And then you're like, yo, like, I thought you did the work. How are you putting me in this same situation where you're like, I don't like not knowing where I stand with someone? You know, I don't like feeling like an afterthought, and then you do the same thing to someone else. I don't quite understand that. And that's where I'm like, oh, yeah, this person is like very fraudulent. You know, like, yeah, you've done the work. Have you really done the work, or are you just hiding in peace because you've been controlling everything around you your entire life? Not entire life, but you've learned how you have learned to control everything around your life in order for it to seem like peace. It's crazy to me. And you know, I'm just gonna say this, babe, baby, babe. There's only so long you can hold that version together. You know, the one that you build to feel like peace, the words that you say to yourself. You know, even the words you feed to the world through Instagram captions, those words that you actually fully don't believe yet. And even though you have perfectly and beautifully matched your outward appearance to feign the peace that you have, that's not going to hold forever. Eventually it catches up and you have to do the work. Because saying you're okay and actually being okay is not the same thing. And I know that you know that. And I'll say it again. Saying you're okay and actually being okay is not the same thing. Faking it until you make it doesn't quite work here. It doesn't work. And so I guess what I'm realizing is when people tell you who they are, it's okay to believe them, but also keep your wits about you. Because eventually they're going to either prove themselves right, or or you end up being part of the story they tell themselves. Did you hear me? They're either going to prove themselves right, or you end up becoming part of the story that they tell themselves. Okay? Or, you know, whatever. I mean, people are really out here taking the time to rationalize their shitty behavior just to gaslight themselves into thinking it wasn't hurtful or somehow justified. So, whatever. Like, okay, take this with a grain of salt, y'all. My blood pressure cannot take it. Also, to clarify, yes, I am aware that there are people out there that say that they are at peace and they found their peace and they know they're Zen and they're just all in it. I get it. I get it. We love that for them. We love that for them. I love that for them. So, yeah, just relax. I get it. Yes, there are people that are truly peaceful and they figured it out, and I am envious and I love that for them. Just keep on going in your peace, baby. Keep on going.